Hey, this is HQ. Boy, sometimes you wonder what's going on with this world. What's going on with these people, right? April 2nd, I think, fundamentally changed our thought processes and our world the way it is. We elected Donald Trump, and a lot of us knew that this person had the racist views that they had, that they felt the way they felt. But we always believed that there was fundamentally normal people on this planet who were just regular, ordinary people, right? April 2nd, Carmelo Anthony took it upon himself to end the life of a young man, Austin Metcalf. I don't think it was racial when it happened. I don't think it was a thought on his part or premeditation or anything like that. I personally believe that, he has to do some time, but I don't think it should be all of his life, and I don't think he's a bad person. It's a person who made a mistake, a person who had profound misjudgment at a point in time, and I think a lot of people can do that, have that kind of mishap. So here we are dealing with a racial situation that we should never have been confronted with. But we are confronted with this racial situation simply because we have people out there that are promoting this racial thing. Okay? It wasn't a racial thing. It was two children getting into an argument and one person going beyond what should have, by all of our thought processes, uh, beyond the pale. And so we have people having conferences, news conferences, talking about the situation. Everyone has an opinion. No one has heard this young man, Carmelo Anthony, one of the two people that were involved in this situation. We have not heard from that child except in the police report. And everyone has supposition, everyone has an opinion, everyone has grief. But when you go beyond the pale and you go beyond this grief, this tragedy that happened, Austin lost his life. And I am completely and forever touched by the tragedy of a young person, both of these people, and at the hands of Carmelo, and I get that. But there's grifters out here and people who don't even take the time to understand what they're doing by promoting this racial thing, and it was not a racial thing. It was just two boys on a school property, I'm assuming, who had a fight. And that fight ended in tragedy. Okay? It ended in tragedy. So my thing is this. Why didn't people listen to the father when the father said, don't make this a racial thing? Because it's not a racial thing. If anyone could have thought to make this a racial thing, it would have been the father. But the father said, don't make this a racial thing. This is not a racial thing. The only reasonable person that it seems to be in this whole situation is that father, that Austin Metcalf's father, even though by all rights and well within his life, he should be incontrollable, desolate with this kind of grief. So I feel for that father. I feel for Carmelo Anthony. This is not a black and white thing for me. I know how to separate black and white. Even though we have had injustice all of the lives of black men and women, this is not that black and white thing. This is two boys who confronted each other and tragedy occurred. Now we have the father saying, don't make this a racial thing. He got on the horn early. He said early, please don't make this a racial thing.
I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on the soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know. They weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
Just to ask you this one question, like I had mentioned, the self-defense argument made by the suspect. What's your reaction to that if that's used in court or used?
As a defense attorney, they're going to try every avenue. That's their job. The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me what happened. There was never a punch even thrown. So I don't care. There was never a phone broken. We've never had contact with this individual ever. So unless you were there, I don't appreciate all the gossip and all the mistruths that people are speaking at this moment.
Is that shocking to hear or read, or at least hear from me, say that that's what he told police after that moment?
No, what do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're gonna do is try to lie your way out of it.
Now, that's the initial conversation with the father. He said, don't make this a racial thing. It's not a racial thing. They didn't know Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony did not know them. But why are people making it a racial thing just because it's a black boy and a white boy? Would we have had the same reaction if it would have been two white boys? Would we have had the same reaction if it would have been two black boys? Or would we have had the same reaction if it would have been the white boy who killed the black boy? We don't know. So we need to keep our own counsel when it comes to that, right? A boy lost his life. That's what we need to concentrate on. A young boy lost his life. Okay? And I feel for that family because there's no getting back from that, no coming back from that. Okay? But we do have a character who stood out the other day. Was it yesterday? I don't know whether it was yesterday or the day before or whatever. It may have been on the 13th. No, 19th. I'm sorry. It was on the 19th where a gentleman by the name of Jake Lang, who was a January 6er, decided that he was going to have a rally called Protect White Americans rally in Frisco, Texas, to condemn this act of violence that Carmelo perpetrated. And that's fine. That's fine. But he decided he was going to name the rally Protect White Americans Rally. And in that rally, he decided he was going to condemn Carmelo without any evidence, without any more of the evidence. And we all have our thought processes as to what happened, when and where and how. We all get that. Okay. And like I said, I stated my position on it. I think they can't prove murder. They can't prove meditation. It might be manslaughter, but the young man, believe me, he probably will spend some time in jail, which rightfully he should, because he did end someone's life. Regardless of whether that life was white or black, whether it's justified, whether it was not, he still ended someone's life. But this young Jake Lang decides, oh, I'm going to make a rally called Protect White Americans Rally to condemn whatever was going on with Carmelo and Austin. So now he's rallying up this white hatred. Protect white Americans, and see, this is part of the reason why Trump got elected. He conjured up that white privilege, or that white suffrage, or that white, we're not getting it. The blacks are coming for you. The whites are coming. The Mexicans are coming for your jobs, and the Mexicans are going to beat you out, and we're going to be a minority, and you're da-da-da-da. So let's fight back. And Trump believes in us and a white America and this, that, and the third. Why do you think DEI and all of those things are disappearing? Because it threatens white America. And Trump is one of those people who embodies that grief or that grievance. I don't care one way or the other. He's just like a fly to me on the wall. I can't concern myself about that person. That person will show themselves or out themselves soon enough. People who don't have good intentions will out themselves, and people are finding that out. But this person definitely, Jake Lang, definitely doesn't want any good for anybody other than the white race on the Americas. Okay, so I found the clip, or I found the small portion of this interview that a person called Bruce Carter went and confronted Jake Lang, who is a January 6er, who was a person who was pardoned by Trump, who was a January 6er, and he was pardoned earlier this year, went out and he's running for Senate in Texas or Florida or wherever he's running for Senate at, who had a rally, and I think less than 20 people showed up, Protect White America rally, to condemn Carmelo Anthony. So this clip here is the beginning of the confrontation between Bruce Carter, who launched a campaign for the urban communities in 2020. So he's a MAGA nut too, and he's a Republican. So he's one of those people that is on Trump's side as well, this black man who goes to confront Jake Lang at Jake Lang's rally that occurred, it was yesterday. So he goes to confront him about this, saying that Austin Metcalf's father doesn't want this to become a racial thing, and yet and still you're making it about a racial thing. And this is Bruce Carter, who goes to confront Jake Lang, the January 6er, about stopping his activities.
Okay.
So when I do this interview, that's what I'm going to ask him
Why?
here in a minute. Like,
Yeah.
Great. Have you spoke with the father? And since I had, the father says he wants no part of this. Under no circumstances, he wants his kid labeled with what's happening here. So since they're going to give me an interview, I'm going to go do it.
Wonderful. We're all very excited for this.
They finish with this.
I'm sorry, your name?
No reason to plunge a dagger into his heart like that.
100%.
There's no reason.
100%.
See, this is my organization. I see it. And I travel across the country to reduce violence in black communities.
Thank you. I stand with you, sir.
On a regular basis. But today, I'm here on behalf of the father, Jeff Metcalf.
Okay.
And what he's asking you is to not use his son's image or likeness in what you're doing. You can do what you do, but that's not what he wants his son tied to.
Now, he went and he confronted him directly. This is what Austin Metcalf's father said not to do. Please don't do that. Please don't use his likeness. Don't use his name. Don't use anything concerning this rally of Protect White Americans, because he knew it was not a race thing. The only logical person I see standing so far is the dad of Austin Metcalf. I haven't listened to the mother and father of Carmelo Anthony. I've only heard the reasonable talkings of Austin Metcalf's father. Please don't make this a racial thing. It's not a racial thing. Let justice prevail. So this Bruce person is coming to confront Jake Lang about him having a rally about white American grief.
Out of respect for that family.
Now, I would ask Jeff Metcalf if he would be bold enough to act like a father of a deceased young man that was murdered instead of being somebody suppressed, worried that he's going to spark the next race riots or some type of thing. He needs to stand for righteousness, not for the consequences of righteous actions always need to be taken seriously. He needs to be righteous before he is fearful. He is acting out of fear, not out of righteousness. He should have been on the top of the bus today. He should have been standing shoulder to shoulder with me.
Are you a father?
No, I am not.
I'm a father.
Amen.
I'm a father. As a father, there is this thing called grief. So let me tell you what's going on in his house. He's getting swatted. His only other son.
Who is swatting him?
Well,
Which
that's
community?
the thing. No, we don't know the community, but it's happening. That's on the police to find. Secondly, he has a son who's a twin, who his son died in his arms. So that means he needs to navigate that. Then his son, his only son, is getting death threats. So as a father, his hands is full. So the last thing he wants to be tied to is having this complex of race. So yes, violence is bad. Young black men are getting killed every day by young black men across this country.
Yes, but I'm not a member of that community. I'm a member of my community.
And so this is what he's saying. You're stirring up the pot, and we don't need to stir up the pot. What we need to do is cool heads need to prevail. Cool heads need to say, this is not what we need to be doing right now. We need to let the law do what the law needs to do. Okay? This is the same. This Jake Lang is doing the same as any other protester is doing. Are you protesting because you want justice, or are you protesting because you want the young man to suffer more than he has already, or suffer more than he needs to? What's going on? But I know you have no good intention. Him being a white racist makes no difference. Just like he wants Carmelo Anthony to go to jail for life for what he did, so do black people want Carmelo Anthony to get off from what he's done. Both of these positions are untenable. Both of these positions are impossible. Both of these positions are unreasonable. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying both of your positions are unreasonable. Carmelo Anthony should do some time. He ended a life. But he should not go to jail for the rest of his life. There should be some kind of grace. There should be some kind of understanding. I'm saying people need to step back and let the law do what it does. This young man, this Jason person, is not helping. Jake person is not helping. This is what this man is trying to tell him. You're not helping.
My community is being victimized by the community of violent black.
But here's the problem. But here's the problem.
Degenerates.
When you stand up in the name of God, there's one body. And if you're not a part of that body,
I could read statistics. So I'm also a pragmatic human being. So I understand when there's a problem, it needs to be addressed head on. If you tiptoe around a problem, that's how you get to the end result.
So your biggest concern is the loss of white life by black people?
No, that's
not
not
your concern.
I have
The concern is a repeating pattern. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. And we just can't ignore it any longer.
Shut your coon ass up. Because you're the worst of the worst. You're the worst of the worst. Okay? You're standing behind this person, fueling the heat, fueling the fire when it should not be fueled at all. Okay? This is what we're trying to say. This is what people are trying to say. Stop it. Shouldn't I be spending time with my family?
If it stops, we're good.
So let me answer that question. Do you believe more white people are killed by white people or by black people?
Listen, by strangers, it's 2 to 1. every single race in domestic issues, because we live amongst each other and uncles kill uncles and drunk at barbecues and stuff like that, it's always the same amount.
So your response is this.
Let me respond, please let me respond.
Is your response that
I'm saying
Mr. Metcalf needs to get on your bus and tell people
if
that
I was
his
him, I
son
would
was
do
killed,
it.
but he's not you. So what I'm saying
But
is,
I'm telling you,
so what
I'm somebody that stands for what I believe in, and I don't cower when it's time to stand.
If your desire
It's because
is
of
to
fear. Let's be
represent-
My
honest.
desire
It's
is that
because he's
another
afraid.
Austin Metcalf does not happen next week.
Like,
And if I
Austin Metcalf, the whole nine, it happens every day of the week. White on white, black on black, green on green, black, white, you name it. It happens every day of the week. Why is he concerned about it now? Because a black person ended the life of a white person. That makes no difference. Because black people end black people's lives and white people end white people's lives. I don't care about that kind of dynamic. Being white or black doesn't affect me. But I do care about justice being done when people do things wrong, regardless of what race they are. Okay? This is a tragedy that happened. The colors are incidental. Okay?
I was his father, I would stand
But you're
righteously to say,
But you're
yes,
not.
It's
but I'm
not,
a
but
man.
we all have
of
common
So
sense.
you're
white
We
speaking
men.
know.
for his father.
Hold on. We know.
No, I'm
not-
speaking for white men
I'm
in this
not
country.
gonna
Are
I'm
you a
speaking for
father?
white
Well,
people
hold on,
in
hold
this
on.
country.
Are you?
No, you're not speaking for white people in this country because 25% of the white people don't approve of what 25% are the only people that approved of what Trump did. Only 25% of the people voted for Trump. So no, the bulk of the country does not approve of you being released as a January 6er, does not approve of whatever white male privilege came down the pike because of Trump. No, only 25% of y'all are represented in that group. Okay, that's why at this man's rally, only 10 people showed up. That's the estimate, less than 20, almost 10, close to 10, according to records. So since they know what you are, you're a January 6th, they don't believe, they don't support you, and you're talking about white grievance, white male grievance. Nobody should be supporting you. You're the highest man on the food chain. Hell is going on.
Hey, hold on one
Are
second.
you a father?
Hold on one second.
Are you a father?
I'm not, but listen.
Okay,
listen,
so when I talk
I'm
to
not done talking yet.
non-fathers
Hold on.
who are not dealing with grief, you've talked for an hour. So if you want to address, I can give you after I give this message. The bottom line is this. You have a father that's out of respect asking you not to put his son's face in a place. How do you say you're going to represent people when you can't respect the will of the people?
No, no,
Let me respond, guys. There's too much peanut gallery.
That's not what his father said. His father
I've
did
never
not
heard
say
that. Can we please let me?
Well, see, here is when they pull the phone out, right? He pulls the phone out and he calls the dad. This man, this Bruce Carter, calls the dad up. And then we have the phone call between this man and the father. Listen
to this.
Yeah.
Austin Metcalf is no longer Austin Metcalf. He is a symbol. He is a symbol of.
This is the Bruce calling Austin Metcalf's father.
Young white people being predatorized and victimized every single day, living in fear. He is living in fear. Our people in this country are living in fear. Austin Metcalf is no longer just a son.
Jeff, hold on, Jeff. Do me one favor, because there seems to be an issue that you're okay with Austin's name being plastered with this particular movement. Now, I've already addressed that. So now I want you to say one more time that do you agree with your son's name and face being attached to this movement?
Hey, Jeff Metcalf, this is Jake Lang here. I wanted to talk to you, not be led into a question. This is a legal argument. This is called leading.
Do you agree with your son?
Can I have a conversation with you?
No, because you could have called him before that. You could have called him out of
I've been
respect.
reaching out. I'm one of the biggest figures in
So,
America.
Jeff,
Nobody's ever
I've given your
texted me
message.
from-
I've given you
texted-
your message,
I
and here's
texted
the
all
response.
family members, everybody I could
I've
find.
given you your message, and here's the response.
You've not given my
This
message.
guy
You've
said
given your message.
What he said was this.
Issue with the event.
What he said was this. He said that you, as a father, should be on the bus with him, delivering the message that he's delivering. Unfortunately, he's not a father, and the gentleman with him is not a father. Maybe they don't understand what loss is. But at the end of the day, I've given your message, and they thought that it wasn't your message.
Let me have.
Get to the
1
phone
minute
call.
of my message
Call
to Jeff
him.
Metcalf.
Call him.
Okay, what's his number?
He's on the phone right now.
So Jeff,
This is a
do you, huh?
This is not a good faith discussion.
Okay, hold on. Here's Jeff. Hold on.
Here he is.
Hold on.
Here's the father speaking to the white supremacist Jake Lang at this Protect White Americans rally, and he's going to tell him, don't do this with my son.
So Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here. Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position, not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you have chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not stand with me and with the rest of the people? We're not calling for racial divide. We're not calling for hatred. We're saying 350,000 attacks on white people by black people a year in this country is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem. You've been submitted.
Hold on, Jeff.
You've been submitted.
I'll handle it from here.
You've been submitted, sir.
You're not gonna.
So the whole point was the phone call. The father said, stop it. You're not representing me. You're not representing my son. I don't have anything to do with it. The father is the only logical voice that I've heard throughout this whole thing. This man is the only person that needs to speak for his son. And he says, stop this garbage that you all have going on. Condemn what's going on. He condemns it. Anybody that is using his son's name to further promote whatever they're promoting, he doesn't want to have anything to do with. And I get it. You lost a child. This is what we're dealing with now. When we have all of this supposition, we have all of these people doing all of these wild and crazy and reckless things. Two black men standing there listening to this white man say, black people are animals, they're degenerate, we can't this, that, and the third. This is the direction that we're heading in. I don't care one way or the other. This is a man problem that need to be fixed. And this problem will be fixed in the next 2 years. This problem will be fixed. Okay. God help them if they impeach Trump, do whatever, because he's not a good representation of the country at all. No, we didn't have an election that elected this person. Only 25% of you elected that person. The rest of the people stood down or they didn't vote for him. This is not a representation of all of us. This young man seems to be emboldened. Jake Lang, one of these January 6ers. This is what happens when you release degenerates from jail. Trump released the degenerates from jail. The January 6ers. Released them from jail, and this is what they do. Isn't this how they always say? You release people from jail, and then they still do criminal acts? Here's an example of a person who got released from jail, and he's still doing criminal acts. He's still acting like an ass. He's still being a degenerate. He has no reason to bring that Austin into this particular. No, you're not going to fuel your campaign to get into office, and nobody's going to vote for you to get into office with this kind of attitude. Not out in the open, bold and brazen with your rhetoric. Okay, this is what Bruce Carter came to tell him.
If we were all of your nature,
guys, listen.
You're not going to say what are we doing?
Do you know who you're talking to? You don't, do you?
I'm talking to a black man.
You don't. No, you're not.
Okay.
You sit here, you talk about Trump.
But I am. You're not
Google my name and Trump. No. When you do that, my name is Bruce
I agree with Black Males Way.
Google that.
But they're not.
We don't care who you are. You're a MAGA nut. We don't care. You all are MAGA nuts. You're in a cult. We're talking about the young man. We're talking about the young Carmelo Anthony. We're talking about Austin Metcalf's father. We're talking about that. Don't make it about race. Don't make it about Trump. Don't make it about any of those things. The only reason why I brought up Trump is because this person was pardoned by Trump. And it emboldened him to do these weird and wild things off the internet, on the internet, in front of the camera. Okay? I don't care about him. He could be a speck of dirt. Him and the black man and anybody else that's at that news conference. But don't pull the young man into it. Don't pull Metcalf, Austin into it. Don't pull Carmelo into your garbage, your nonsense.
So say that to Jeff Metcalf. Say that to Jeff Metcalf.
We talk about it, man.
Say it.
At the end of the day, the man is asking you. So let me ask you this. You got a father who's grieving. And your response is he's weak.
My father is celebrating my strength right now.
You have no idea. You'll never win the Senate. And what I'll do, I'll come to Florida.
And then now we got two men sticking their chest out. Don't vote for neither one of them. Either one of them represent your need. Well, see, I don't know who all you voted for. If you voted for Donald Trump, then this might be something that you like. I would never vote for him because you don't represent me. Black or white or Chinese or green, you don't represent me. This is nonsense. When you try to alienate or put before you color, or you put rich before poor, when you do that, you alienate me at all. I don't have anything to have a discussion with. I just hope we can vote all of you guys out come next year.
To run for Senate and run as a Republican, and I'll kick your butt.
No, you lose, bro.
You need 2 years of presidency in Florida.
Because this behavior is why we're in the situation where we are.
No.
We get these. Is that what it is? Okay. Well, at the end of the day, he's asked you what to do and what not to do.
Listen,
you have a right to do it or not do it.
You can say not about Austin Metcalf, but we're going to continue this movement.
I love somebody.
You love the thought of using Austin for T-shirts, for propaganda, and to get out here and talk about
you want to shut down a white man right now.
I'll shut you down.
You're not shutting me down.
I'm not raising money like
because I got family.
I'm not raising money like
put down anymore. No, bro, you stop. You came here to try to shut him down.
No, I came here to give him a message from a father.
And listen,
but I realized that's not his deal.
Let's be honest. You're a black man trying to shut him down.
I'm an American first.
No, man,
I'm an American. No.
So you all need to be an American and let that man grieve for his child. This coon ass, I don't know what this person see when you do this kind of thing, that tells me that you're ashamed of what you're standing for. This right here is a white supremacist, and I have no respect for that person. These are the news people, so they're doing their job, and I have no respect for this person either. Okay, but I do have respect for Austin Metcalf's father, who has stood exactly on what he needed to stand on from day one. Stop politicizing. Stop making this about race. I lost a son. That's it.
I'm an American.
I am. You're not. That's why I'm here. You want to silence him.
No.
You want to
I'm
shame
an American
him. I've seen it happen over and over. It's not foolishness. You've done nothing. You have not worked on anything. It's not changed nothing. We're here to try something different to stop this.
So what's the difference?
The difference is we're actually coming out here with courage.
Saying what?
You just want to silence people.
No.
Saying that white people can't be put down anymore.
I listened to you. I listened to you for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It wasn't substantive.
And you were raging.
You had more people.
You were raging. What substance is then? What's
one dead, the 17th. Yeah. Another one who's in jail.
He's a murderer.
You had
it happens all the time.
Who's been charged?
Yes, it happens all the time. So why is there a rally behind it's something that happens all the time? Because it's not something you think happens all the time. You think it should be going above and beyond what it needs to go. A young man lost his life. A young man did it. Happens every day. I'm not saying it's casual. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it happens every day. So why are we having a bus tour because of it? That makes no sense. They're arguing over tit for tat. And everybody is trying to fluff their chest out. The father said, stop it.
In our own country, and it's a weakness from Jeff Metcalf and people like you that is continuing the culture. Condemn Carmelo Anthony, condemn. Why are you confronting me? What if you call Jeff Metcalf and say there's a young black man with a Carmelo Anthony jersey on parading his son's death? When I'm standing strong against the murderer. My name in Trump. Since you say I'm standing strong against the murderer.
And here's the problem. Just because we're under the regime, under the presidency of Donald Trump, who doesn't respect due process, that doesn't mean our citizens are going to throw due process out of the window. He deserves due process. Carmelo Anthony deserves to be confronted by his accusers. He deserves his day in court, and that's the way it should be. Don't call him anything other than a defendant. Yes, he took someone's life. Yes, are there circumstances? We don't know. We don't know why he took someone's life. We can only suppose. People need to stand the fuck down. Specifically, people who are trying to make it a race thing when it's not a race thing. If it was the other shoe on the other foot, I would still be saying the same thing. The black boy took the white boy's life, and vice versa. Doesn't matter who or what color it is. Someone lost their life.
Who cares about it?
Oh,
I know.
President Trump pardoned
I got you. It doesn't matter, guys.
President Trump, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
No,
President Trump,
no, you probably shouldn't have got pardoned. He probably
you're
shouldn't have
not
gave you a
President
pardon.
Trump.
No, I'm a man.
You're not a man.
See, this is a with a waffle. See, when you can't have logical conversations, you can't have logical conversations with men who want to stick their chest out. See who's bigger, see who's better. I don't care about any of these people. All of these people can eat dirt, as far as I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the two young children that lost their lives in different ways. And not have one child have more justice than the other. The law will prevail. The one thing we don't need is adults out here talking about, oh, it's a black and white thing. Oh, it's a black thing. Black men never get justice. So black men so he needs to get justice. He needs to get off. No, that's not how the world works. That's not how this is going to work. The young man took a life. So the young man should have a penalty to pay, period. Regardless of the extenuating circumstances. He should have a mental price to pay, a jail price to pay, whatever price he needs to pay. Because he made those actions. He did whatever he did on that day, and he took a life. What Austin Metcalf's father is saying, please stop politicizing the life of my son. Please stop politicizing or making it a racial thing. It's neither one of those things. It's you took a child's life thing. I took another human being's life thing. And we have all of these men standing around with their chests puffed out. I'm better. I'm better. I'm better. I'm Trump's friend. I'm Trump's friend. Trump, pardon me. No, we don't care about you. Eat dirt.
Violence against white Americans. Yes, sir.
There's violence of white Americans against black Americans and black Americans against black Americans and white against white. Who cares?
Talk about cities. Detroit is one of the most unlivable cities in America.
Yep.
Up until
And then you got black folks standing behind this idiot. The whole point is, please talk about death. This young man, not about your pride, not about what, when, and how. It makes no sense.
one question.
We see what you're doing.
Should Carmelo Anthony?
I know you have white family members like I do, but I'm tired of it.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, really?
Carmelo,
I think
should
we
Carmelo
not have any injuries on my indictment?
Why was I left?
$500,000 raised for Carmelo Anthony because he killed a white
So I
man.
have two problems.
What's your issue?
I have two problems.
Yeah.
So no, hold on.
If
When
Carmelo
you-
Anthony
when
was
you-
your neighbor,
hold on.
would you allow your
Hold on.
children to go play with him right now? Carmelo's your neighbor. He's home on bond. Would you send your
As we stated before, as people have stated, Carmelo Anthony doesn't have a criminal record. He didn't have a criminal record until now, and he still doesn't. The black guy is standing behind the white guy because I'm assuming he's a part of his campaign. The white guy is a white supremacist, and the black guy is standing there defending him. I have no idea why he's there.
To the community.
Guys,
If I killed your son, would you walk down the street right
you
now?
kind of agree
I
with
kind
me?
of agree with you on
Let
the
me
bond.
say this.
The issue is hold on. I kind of agree with you on the bond. But
Come on,
hold on. Murder is
He don't
getting
want you to
done.
be a man.
Hold
He
on.
wants you to
That's
follow
not what I'm
him.
saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Righteous. No,
What I'm saying.
You see, they're litigating the whole thing right here, when the whole point of this exercise was for Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf's father said, "Please don't politicize this." This young man, this white man in the middle of this picture, is having a rally called Protect White Americans, in which less than 15 people showed up. So he was having a rally called Protect White Americans, and this black guy called Bruce Carter, the black guy in the cowboy hat, showed up and said, Austin Metcalf's father is my friend. He told me to convey a message to you. Please don't do this. Please don't have my son identity, name, picture on your platform as Protect White Americans. Please don't do that. So the black man confronted him and said, don't do that. And they called Austin Metcalf's father, and the father told him to stop this garbage. So now they're all fighting with their chest stuck out, all the men.
What I'm saying is that you're being silent about the issue of black crime. You're saying, oh, what about Detroit? What about St. Louis? Those cities are unlivable. Those cities are unlivable, not because of Indians.
So you just said I'm being silent. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Since you don't know me. Since you don't know me.
You're running cover for
so
black
since
crime.
you don't know me, Google my name, Bruce Carter, black on black crime.
I
Hold
can
on.
Google his
and
name.
I'm holding a meeting this Tuesday where I've called on the mayor, the city manager, Dallas County, and DISD.
Do something real and say, get that man back in jail. If you're going to hold a meeting.
He doesn't need to be in jail, son.
Okay, so then put your kids over. Let's schedule a play date. Your father, let's schedule a play date. He's not a danger to the community.
So here's the problem.
Let's schedule a play date.
My name is Bruce Carter.
Let's schedule a play date.
So here's
Carmelo
the problem.
Anthony and little baby Bruce.
I gotta go.
You see, we have people with their chest stuck out, mad, just mad, for no reason. Okay? There was a conversation. This was the gentleman calling Austin Metcalf's father. Austin Metcalf's father said, please stop politicizing this information. He said it to the white guy's face. Please stop politicizing this. This is not a political thing. This is not a black and white thing. This is a human being thing. My son lost his life, and I don't want this politicized. He said it from the beginning. We played that clip earlier. Please don't politicize this. But yet and still we have people saying, well, Carmelo should get off, and but no. Carmelo should not get up. Carmelo should pay the penalty for whatever the judge decides or the jury decides that is his punishment for taking the life of another human being. That is what is called due process. That is what's called having your day in court. And I know that the Trump administration is like, we ain't following due process. We ain't doing all. No. We're not going to become a country where people are doing whatever they want to do, taking the law into their own hands, including our president. This young man deserves due process. This young man deserves his day in court. Stop calling him a murderer, because he can walk out of that jail free and clear from being called a murderer, and that's not your call to make. Okay? That's not anyone's call to make. This is what his name, I think it's Jeff Metcalf. He's saying, stop politicizing my son's death. Stop saying my son's death is a black and white thing. It wasn't a black and white thing. It was just a thing. Something happened and I lost my child. And I get it. There's conversations to be had about it. Of course it is. But people don't really want to have a conversation. They want to have their viewpoint. I get it. I do. Is this, and my whole thing is, does anyone want to come up on the panel and have something to say about it? If they do, they can. I will put the link down and you can come up and have a conversation about it, and have your thoughts on it if you want to. If you don't, if you do, if you don't, I still have a good 5 minutes. I will, and we can have a discussion. I don't have a thought about it one way or the other. It's a person who took the life of a child, another child. And that's it. It's another day in America. It happens every day. Black, white, black, black on black. It happens every day. I don't have any animosity towards Camilo. I don't have any animosity towards Austin or anything else. All I know is a person had to bury their child. And he's saying to everyone out there, stop calling it a black and white thing. It's not a black and white thing. It's a person that took a life, however he took that life. And he wants people to be okay with him going to trial. Okay? I don't think is as serious as people. I don't think the law would have let him out on bail if they thought he was a danger to society. If they thought that man was a danger, that young man was a dangerous criminal, I don't think they would have let him out on bail. That's just me. They lowered the bail enough for that man to get out of jail. I just don't think they think that boy is that much of a detriment. And maybe he is. We don't know. Maybe he is. But all I'm saying is, please wait for the evidence to come out. We never know what happened. You hear all kinds of stories. I have deliberately not even taught and thought and looked at any of the evidence because we don't know. We don't know what happened to that young man. We don't know what happened. We know he stabbed someone. That's all we know. Okay? And people making suppositions about what, when, and how. I get it. I do. I get it. I do. We want to blame somebody. He is to blame. He is to blame. And we can't help it that maybe, there were extenuating circumstances. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't even begin to say. I'm not on the judge and I'm not a jury. But I do say, let justice do what it needs to do. Let that father grieve for what he needs to grieve for. That father needs to grieve. Please hit the like button. You guys came in. Please hit the like button. Okay. But the whole point is you don't have a rally and try to pull the father into your foolishness. As he said, don't pull me into this. My son's life is over. Please don't pull me into this. And I'm saying, hey, run and do what you got to do, but don't pull the boy into it. Let the law do what the law has to do. So I'm assuming nobody wants to come on the panel and have a discussion. That's cool. That's fine. I'll be back later with some more news. This is HQ. HQ Reacts. Thank you for listening.